Hey guys, what's going on? This is Edward, and for today's lesson, we're going to be talking about the PDT rule, which is a very special rule in regards to day trading. So let's get started. So let's just get started with, what is the pattern day trading rule, which is what the PDT rule stands for. So the PDT rule is, as you can see here, a rule which the SEC or the SEC, which is a regulatory commission in the government, has on the stock market, which basically restricts people with less than $25,000 in their account from day trading more than 3 times in a 5-day period. So you can see that a day trade is basically a buy. You buy a stock and you sell a stock in the same day. So you can see in this graphic, you can buy day 1, day 2, day 3, but that's it. And if you do more, then there are going to be consequences. And you're basically breaking the pattern day trading rule. And we'll get into the consequences later in this video. But basically, that's all you need to know for what the pattern day trading rule is. So now we'll talk about a margin versus cash account. And I bring this slide up because it is important to what the PDT rule applies to. So the PDT rule only applies to a margin account, not a cash account. And the difference, as you can see in my graph here, is that a margin account is investor is able to borrow money and therefore able to make bigger positions. While a cash account, all positions are made in available cash. So what you put into your account is what you can trade with. While a margin account, you can borrow from your brokerage and take larger positions, which of course also means larger risk. And another difference between a cash account and a margin account is that a cash account has a 3-day settlement period. So, for example, if you buy a stock on Monday and then you sell it on Monday as well, so that's a day trade, right? You can only get your profits or your losses after 3 days. So, Monday, it'll be Thursday. So, 3 business days, mind you, not just 3 days. So, the weekends don't count, 3 business days. So, you buy it on Monday and you get your cash back on Thursday. So, it really does restrict how you can day trade based on how much cash you have. But the benefits of a margin account is that cash can be immediately used once again after a position is sold. So say for example you buy a stock at 12 o'clock p.m. and you sell it at 12:30, you have your profits or your losses immediately after you hit the sell button. So 12:30, you have the profits to trade again. And so this is really interesting because, you really have to weigh the benefits and your own situation, whether or not to use a margin account or a cash account. For a margin account, you can only trade 3 times a day or 3 times in a 5-day period, right? And you can get your cash immediately. So if you feel that there's 3 good day trades in one day, you can do that. But in a cash account, well, you'd have to like kind of split your whole entire account size into thirds. That way you'd be able to trade that way because you have to get around the 3-day settlement period. However, you can do that as much as you want because there is no PDT rule. So you really have to weigh out your own situation and see which one would best work for you. But yeah, for the purposes of this video and what the PDT rule applies to, it is just the margin account, not the cash account. So, as I said before in my first slide, I was talking about the consequences of breaking the PDT rule. And so, if you perform a 4th day trade in a 5-day period, right? So you've done 3 before, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you took 3-day trades, and then Thursday you want to do another one. You find a really good position, you really want to do it. Well, if you do, then you're breaking the PDT rule. And so what this means is that, you're not going to be able to trade for 90 days afterward, which is actually a pretty restrictive consequence to the PDT rule, and it really makes you think, it really makes you think of, if you do break this, you're not going to be able to trade for 90 days, which could really hurt your chances to grow your account. So you really have to be careful with day trading, especially around this PDT rule. Next one. Okay, so these are a few examples of how the PDT rule works. And in coding, there's these things called edge cases, which are kind of like strange situations where you have to kind of work around them. And that's kind of what I call these things because sometimes the PDT rule can be a little bit confusing about what constitutes as a day trade and what does not. So let's start with our first one here. So we say, this is a very straightforward one. You buy 100 shares and you sell 100 shares all in one day, day 1. Okay, that's 1-day trade. All shares are sold. Cool. Let's look at our second example now. You buy 250 shares in the morning, and you sell 200 shares in the afternoon in one business day in one day. That's one day trade. Even though you didn't sell all your shares that you bought that day, and you still have 50 shares left, it's still one day trade. Now, if you decide to sell those 50 shares, the next day, so when it's day two, that does not count as a day trade. So you're good. That's still just only one day trade. And so now the third example is one where when I was learning about the PDT rule, is a bit confusing. If you buy three times without selling, so you can see here, I bought 15 shares, I bought 25, let's say I bought 15 shares at 9 a.m. and then I bought 25 additional shares at 10 a.m. and then I bought 50 additional shares afterward at 11 a.m. But then I sell all 90 shares at maybe 12 p.m. Well, that constitutes as three total day trades because you have to remember it is the buying and selling of um, of stocks that constitute as a day trade. So you have three separate buyings and one selling. But that selling, um, it applies to all your previous buying times, if you understand what I'm saying. So in total, that's three total day trades. So you just took one day to get you just took one day to use all your day trades. So yeah, you got to be careful with that. And this is one where yeah, you can see it's not about the 24-hour period which you buy it, but rather the business day that or the day, the time frame in which the stock market is open. So say for example you buy 10 shares at 12 p.m. and then you buy another 20 shares at 2:30 p.m. If you sell all 30 shares the next days at 12 p.m., even though they're all in the same 24-hour period, it does not count as two day trades like it did in the third example because it's in a different trading day. It's a different business day. So yeah, that one does not count as any day trades. And the PDT rule also applies to short trades. And shorting is basically when you sell a stock at a higher price because you think the stock's going to go down, and then you can buy back those shares that you sold to cover it and to give it back to the person you bought it from. So it works the same way. Like for example, you just have to flip the buy and sells. So if you sell 100 shares here and then you buy it back all in one day, that's still one day trade, and that's all that you can do. For you only have two more day trades that day. So cool. And so, yeah, most people think that the PDT rule is quite annoying and really does interfere with their account growth. But I think we need to look at both the advantages and the disadvantages of the PDT rule. So, a really good advantage of the PDT rule is for people, especially usually it's beginners who are restricted by the PDT rule because they don't have that much money to trade and they don't have that much money to invest in the stock market. They don't have that much experience yet. It really makes traders second guess their trades and rethink about whether or not to buy a stock and to make sure that the position that they're thinking of taking a part in is a good one. So it really slows down the decision making. It doesn't make it makes it so that one can't really be impulsive and buy based on other people's opinions or on a whim. And so yeah, like I said before, it protects beginners and small timers and small traders to take their time and learn the system, learn the way that the markets move. And also an advantage of PD2 rule is there's no overnight surprises. Usually, sometimes when you hold a stock or a position overnight, the stock can gap up or gap down in between days, and that's completely out of your control. But with the PD2 rule in place, um, can't do that. And your disadvantages. So yeah, disadvantages is that $25,000 for day trading is very difficult to set aside for many people, and it really makes a really big barrier for entry into the day trading market, you could say. And it could potentially make a trader lose out on many opportunities because, yeah, they're restricted. They can't do a fourth day trade in a 5 day period. So if they see something good, but they've already used the other 3 day trades for that 5 day period, then yeah, they're out of luck. And yeah, the consequences of breaking the rules. So like I said before, the 90-day restriction could be very harmful to new traders. Yeah, then you're basically just restricted to paper trading or something like that, which, although paper trading is nice, there's lots of things that you can't learn from paper trading. But anyways, that's about all I have to say for the PDT rule. And yeah, so if you like this video, I'd really appreciate if you hit that like button. And if you really like what I do on this channel and the videos that I create, then I would love it if you could subscribe. I make new videos every single day. So thanks for your time. Bye.